A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood explores the life of Fred Rogers, known to generations of TV viewers as host of the long-running Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But it's not exactly accurate. Here are all the times A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood lied to you. Probably the biggest factual fallacy in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood concerns journalist Lloyd Vogel, played by Matthew Rhys. There is no such person. The film is based on a 1998 Esquire article called Can You Say Hero by Tom Junod. Screenwriters exaggerated or straight up invented so many character and story elements that Junod asked the makers of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood to give the character based on him a different name. For example, the filmmakers exaggerated the character's initial nastiness. In the film, Vogel's editor assigns him a profile on Mr. Rogers to challenge him to be a little softer because he's so tough on his subjects.
I'm profiling Mr. Rogers.
Oh God, Lloyd, please, don't ruin my childhood.
Junod, it would seem, was never such a dark-minded gotcha guy. Junod wrote in The Atlantic, "I was assigned the story about Fred because one of the editors at Esquire thought it would be amusing to have me, with my stated determination to say the unsayable, write about the nicest man in the world." While it boasts an enchanting backdrop of an attempt to understand the inscrutably good-hearted Fred Rogers, played by Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood is really a movie about daddy issues. As the film starts, Vogel has just welcomed a newborn baby boy with his wife Andrea. Vogel bristles just a bit at being a family man, and soon viewers discover why. He hates his father because he cheated on Lloyd's dying mother, then abandoned the family. Lloyd has a discomfort over being a father himself. Rogers soon helps him forgive and reconcile with his dying father before it's too late. This doesn't imitate the reality of Tom Junod. When he met Rogers, his wife Janet had not just given birth to a baby boy. The couple was childless, and it was Junod's conversations with Rogers that helped him believe in himself enough to fully pursue the adoption of a baby daughter. Likewise, Junod's real father Lou only resembled the movie character in the broadest sense. Junod was never estranged from his dad, though they did have some bumps in their relationship.
My father's was a complicated guy, and not everything that he taught was really valuable to me, or really even good for me.
Junod clarified one particular detail in The Atlantic, writing, "I did not get into a fistfight with my father at my sister's wedding. My sister didn't have a wedding." One of the more powerful moments of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood occurs when Fred Rogers goes to visit Lloyd's father Jerry as the man lies dying. It shows the tumultuous relationship between father and son thawing, and it also demonstrates the kindness and selflessness of Mr. Rogers. While the emotional resonance may be real, Rogers never visited Lou Junod on his deathbed. But there's a line from the scene that is seated in fact. Rogers asks Jerry to pray for him, and when Jerry asks why, Rogers says, "Someone who is suffering that much must be very close to God." This is more or less what the real Rogers once told a young boy he met that was coping with cerebral palsy, an event that Rogers recalls to Tom Junod in the Esquire article on which the movie was based. A major turning point comes when Lloyd sits in a restaurant interviewing Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers employs Lloyd to take a reflective moment of silence, 10 seconds actually, to think of the people who have loved us into being. This is a moment that Rogers made happen, and even in public, but it didn't occur in the context in which it was presented in the film. In 1997, Rogers was presented a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 1997 Daytime Emmy Awards. After thanking the assembled throng of TV industry professionals, most of whom had risen to their feet in thunderous applause of their beloved colleague, Rogers called for a moment of quiet. He said, "All of us have special ones who have loved us into being. Would you just take, along with me, 10 seconds to think of the people who have helped you become who you are?" A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood is not the life story of Mr. Rogers. It's more about the effect of his goodness and thoughtfulness on one man, and its target audience of adults who grew up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. One such defining moment occurs when Lloyd Vogel attends a taping of a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood episode. Rogers tries to assemble a pup tent in the yard part of his soundstage home. Try as he might, he can't get the thing to cooperate. When asked if he wanted to try again with a new take, Rogers refused, saying that it was important to show kids watching at home that sometimes things don't go as planned, even for adults.
Somebody said to me, "Why don't you throw something on your program?" And, that would be more for them than for me.
Mr. Rogers did fail to erect a tent on the set of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but he did it in 1975, more than 20 years before Tom Junod wrote the article upon which the film is based. For his unwavering commitment to kindness, goodness, and devotion to children, Fred Rogers is something of a secular saint, worshipped like he's superhuman. In the film, when Lloyd Vogel comments on Rogers' saintliness, his wife, Joanne Rogers, gently chides him, saying that if people think of Rogers, quote, as a saint, then his message is unattainable. She makes a good point about considering his humanity, perhaps Mr. Rogers' secret point all along, while also hinting at an aspect of Rogers' life the film mostly overlooks. Rogers was a devoutly religious man. He was an ordained Presbyterian minister, and his Christian faith informed his personality, on-screen persona, and the message of his show. He was a secular saint with a secular TV show and a religious message. It's kind of weird that the movie about him doesn't make more of a point of it.
Jesus said to the people around him, "Please let the little children come up here. I want to learn from them."
It's evident through the movie and the original Esquire article that the gentle TV character Mr. Rogers is largely one and the same with the real Fred Rogers. How gentle was the guy? As Joanne Rogers tells Lloyd Vogel in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, he was loath to hurt animals. The real-life Rogers adopted a vegetarian lifestyle back in the 1970s, when eschewing meat was a radical hippie kind of thing to do. His quippy, affecting justification for not eating animals, as he says in the movie to Vogel, is that he refused to, quote, eat anything that has a mother. The real Rogers was known to say this a lot when asked why he chose salad over steak, but he never said it to journalist Tom Junot. Or if he did, Junot didn't quote Rogers saying it in the article. Seems like he probably would have included it. It's a great line. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.